I'm Jay Pruitt, and today we're going to make a great caramel sauce. You're going to love it. You can use it to put it over ice cream. You can eat it straight out of the pan. It's that good. There's very few ingredients, so it's very simple to make. You want to use 6 tablespoons of butter. I use butter unsalted. I like to cut it up into equal pieces, small pieces. They're easier to melt that away. We're going to use a full cup of heavy whipping cream. It doesn't really matter the brand, but you'll want it to be 35 to 40% milk fat. We're also going to use 1 cup of sugar. Now, the cup of sugar just goes right into the pan, just like that. I like to use a wooden spoon. It's better to use a wooden spoon. It just is easier to stir with. You'll notice here that after I put the sugar in, I'm just going to keep stirring it. The reason I keep stirring it like this, we don't want the sugar to burn in the pan. If the sugar burns in the pan, it's going to have a coffee taste, and that's not good for caramel. You'll also notice as we continue to stir and have it on the heat that it'll begin to kind of ball up here. And by that it just kind of collects together. That happens just before the sugar begins to melt. You'll remember that all we have is sugar in the pan, and so therefore we want to just continue to stir it and continue to watch it, continue to make sure that it doesn't burn. And now we're seeing the sugar melt. It's becoming a light amber color. It's not quite boiling yet. It's just kind of getting into that melting stage, but there's a lot of liquid in here from the sugar. There's still some balling in here from the sugar, but as we continue to cook, you're going to see that balling go away, and you're going to find that it's going to be a nice smooth consistency, and that's what we want. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit to medium. We want to make sure that we have it low enough that it doesn't scorch the sugar. Now about all my sugar is melted, and we want to put this butter in. We're going to take the 6 tablespoons of butter, and we want to be very careful as we put this in. We don't want to splash it and have it come up, because what will happen, you can get burned pretty seriously with this. It is very hot. You'll notice that it's coming to a boil here. The butter actually is releasing a lot of moisture within the mixture, and so therefore as the butter melts, a lot of heat and moisture is rising out of the pan, and you can actually burn yourself pretty good if you don't watch what you're doing. So you want to just make sure you just do things slowly, keep things going. We've got a nice amber color going here, and our butter has melted, and so what we want to do, I'm just going to move it off of the heat now, and what I want to do is pour the milk in. I'm going to pour it in just a little at a time and continue to stir. The reason we want to do that is because if we pour it in too quick, first off, the moisture from the steam is going to be very heavy, and we could get burned. We don't want to do that. And the second reason that we want to do that is because we don't want the sugar to clump up too much. We want to make sure that the sugar stays in a liquid consistency. Now, my sugar here, as you can see, has kind of clumped up a little bit. We're just going to turn the heat on to medium and let this work and get that sugar back into its liquid form. This will take just a few minutes, but once we do this, we're going to have a really wonderful caramel sauce. You'll notice too that I'm stirring around the edges of the pan as we do this, and the reason I'm doing that is because sometimes that sugar mixture, that gooey stuff, will stick to the sides of the pan right up in the rim, and so we want to make sure that doesn't happen, that it doesn't stay there too long. We want all of that to melt back into the liquid mixture. This smells great. Now while we're doing that and while we're stirring that around, we want to get a little bit of vanilla. I use pure vanilla extract, and we want to put that vanilla extract in here. And I'm just going to take it off the heat before we put that on. Turn the heat off over here. I'm going to take this vanilla extract, about a tablespoon will do. Now that we've got the vanilla mixed in and we've made sure that the sugar has went back into liquid form, we're done. We have a wonderful caramel sauce. You can kind of tell how thick the caramel sauce is if you run your finger across the back. It's very hot. Got a great caramel taste. You can see on the spoon that it is making a trail as I move my finger through it. And that just means that we've got it thickening up, and that's good. It's very hot, so it's going to take it probably about an hour or so to thicken up really good. Look at that rich caramel sauce. It's really going to thicken up, and it's going to be great on ice cream. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make caramel with me. I'm Jay Pruitt. Appreciate taste.